Yeah, morning everybody. You're welcome to the Daily Digest with Jimi Disu. Today is Thursday, and this had been shifted on and on and on. Finally, we are going to get some traction, gain some traction, and find out what's going on. Now, this has to do with I don't want to call it a crisis just yet, but an issue that is important and could lead to a crisis if not well handled. Now, it has to do with Wole Olanipekun and Co., headed by Chief Wole Olanipekun, SAN, who is a chairman body of benchers. And so, using the full story here on the law page of the Vanguard, is on page 13 of the Vanguard, I use it as my reference point to say that it started on the 20th of June, 2022. On June 2022, Ms. Adekunbi Ogunde, who is a UK-trained lawyer, sent a 3-page letter to SIPEM's top executive, Francesco Siao, soliciting for offer of legal services in a criminal case instituted by Rivers State government against SIPEM, SIPEM Contracting, and Mr. Walter Peviana. The letter, according to Ms. Ogunde, was the outcome of a weekend research she did on a number of complex cases ongoing in various law courts in Nigeria. I'd like you to listen very well. Where she felt the services of Olanipekun and Co., where she is a partner, could be required. She is a partner in Olanipekun and Co. I read somewhere she's 12 years at the bar. Okay? Now, the document she emailed to SIPEM to scout for the brief later turned out to be a letter bomb, meaning she sent a letter to SIPEM. Okay, and that letter is the crux of the matter. Now, let's find out. In the SIPEM case, Rivers State government had filed criminal information against the foreign firm of conspiring to cheat with intent to defraud it of the sum of $130 million, being advance payment for the construction of the OCGT power plant in Port Harcourt. There's a history of it talks about the case being filed in a high court and so on and so forth by an Abuja-based lawyer, someone all of us know, Chief Godwin Obla, SAN, on behalf of Rivers State government. The law firm of a former minister of petroleum, Ajumogobia and Okeke, was briefed by the foreign firm, by SIPEM, and thus represented SIPEM in the case. Okay, the opposing parties in the matter did not waste time of the court. They agreed to settle out of court immediately. Okay, but in June 2022, after the case was long dead and settled out of court, Ms. Ogunde, who is a partner in Olanipekun and Co., clearly oblivious of the status of the case, oblivious meaning that she didn't know that the case had been settled out of court, probably, did a proposal to SIPEM's top executive, advising him on the need, now listen to these key words, the need to have a more influential lawyer or law firm to handle the criminal matter for them. That is, she wrote, the case was being handled by Ajumogobia and Co., but she now wrote a letter to SIPEM. Okay? She wrote a letter to SIPEM and telling them that you need a more influential lawyer to handle this case. And then the argument in the email proposal that SIPEM should consider her own firm, Olanipekun and Co., to prevent a huge payout to the Rivers State government, saying that we can handle it better, you can pay less. And so I'm trying to break it down so that we understand very quickly. And that she said that if the company carried out a quick research about Olanipekun and Co., it will reveal that the law firm was actually the leading litigation firm in the country, with the track record of helping multinationals in sensitive and highly political matters in the past. And then she said, the presence of our lead partner, Chief Olanipekun, SANOFR, in the matter will significantly switch things in favor of SIPEM. Now, that phrase is open to all kinds of interpretation. That the presence of her leading partner, Chief Olani Kwekun, would significantly switch things in favor. Then, according to her, Chief Olani Kwekun SAN OFR is currently the chairman of the body of benchers, which is the highest ruling body in the Nigerian legal profession. And for your information, the body of benchers is made up of Supreme Court judges, presiding justices of the Court of Appeal, and chief judges of all state high courts, including the Rivers State High Court. In other words, Chief Olani Kwekun SAN is the head of the entire legal profession in Nigeria. So that, to me, appears to be something called peddling of influence. Okay, then she listed companies that they'd worked for in the past. And then she says that we are aware that another law firm is currently in the matter. This letter she wrote. But you will agree that highly sensitive and political matters requires more influence. And so on and so forth. So that is the crux of the matter. Now there is the need to discipline the madam, or at least there's a need for discipline to go around. One of the questions we'll be asking, I have Libros Oshoma here, one of the questions we'll be asking when we get to that point is whether it is the law firm that should be held responsible for the letter or the lady. But somewhere along the line, of course, Chief Ajumogobia complained, and to be fair to Olani Kwekun and Co., they wrote a very profuse apology, to Ajumogobia. But something had been done, and the Bar Association led by Akpata had said that, look, there's a need to instill discipline in the bar. Apparently, it's against their rules. He will explain to us what could have committed here. But the question now is, the body that is set up, and correct me if I'm wrong, Libros, the body that is set up to discipline is under the jurisdiction of the body of benchers, of which Chief Olani Kwekun himself is the chairman. And that so the president of the Bar Association said that in that regard, he believes that Chief Olani Kwekun should recuse himself, at least for that, for that exercise, which Chief Olani Kwekun refused to do. Okay? He says that 3 days after the petition was filed, the NBA wrote Chief Olani Kwekun asking him to recuse himself from his position to pave the way for the investigation of a partner in his law firm. Okay, and then the NBA president, it is said, gave advice in a letter addressed to Chief Olani Kwekun, and so on and so forth. At the time we don't have enough time now to read the letter in full, but you know what the content would be, it would be that of complaint and so on and so forth. Then he says that Chief Olani Kwekun cried foul. He says that more than 24 hours after the letter was released and published by the media, trending, Chief Olani Kwekun cried out that the NBA president did not send him the letter, that he has not seen the letter. In a brief chat with the Vanguard, he said he would not understand why the president of the NBA would write him a letter requesting him to step down as chairman of BOB and leak the same document without serving him a copy more than 24 hours after same had become public. Okay, the Vanguard spoke to some SANs who gave their opinion, and I think you'll permit me to read one or two opinions before I now take on Libros Oshoma, who is here in the studio, and we are going to put a call through to GT Ogunye, maybe after the break, so that we can get the perspectives of both of them. Some of them spoke to Chief Micah Hamba, Chief Bembela Anachebe, SAN, Chief Samuel Okutekwa, SAN, and they faulted Olumide Akpata over his method of handling the probe. Some of them believe that he should have spoken to him. Let me read some of the reactions here. It says here, Chief Okutekwa said the letter was not in the best tradition of how things are done, irrespective of what anybody feels about it. He talks about Chief Olani Kwekun being a past president of the NBA, and whether you like it or not, is a superior member of the bar, and that if he were the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, he won't write, he will go to meeting and involve senior members of the bar, elders, past presidents, and so on and so forth. That's his belief. That's what it is. He says to do a letter to him and before he gets to social media is a terrible thing and he ought not to do. You may not like Wale Olanipekun as a person, but the institution that we all belong to must be preserved by the decorum we accord to ourselves. He says that he's not saying that Wale Olanipekun is above disciplinary process, and I'm not going to go into any argument as to whether or not what happened is correct, but that he believes that there are more respectful ways of dealing with issues that affect the profession. Another Silk, SAN, for those who don't know, like Kekere here, Silk is SAN. Silk, you get it. If you don't get it, you don't get it. You know. Okay, I have to break these things down because I don't know if you know. Chief Fanatibe SN said the letter was written, it was not supposed to have been written without being mindful of the status. And I think as a former president of the bar, he ought to have made a personal contact. So that he believes that. And he says that the fact that a junior in the chamber of Olanipekun wrote a letter and the content was considered to have violated the rules of practice does not justify asking Chief Olanipekun to resign. As a matter of fact, Olanipekun has many, then he goes into some argument. Then this part I don't like, where we personalize issues. I'm very much against this kind of argument, where he says that Chief Olanipekun was conferred with the rank of SAN in 91 when the president of the NBA must either be in law school or in the university. We like throwing age at everything. Age, tribe. Let's look at the issues, whether he was a student, that what he is he represents the bar. He's the president. That gives him a status. It gives him a certain status. So this part I don't agree with, and I wish it hadn't come up. Well, that's the argument that we have. I have to summarize it. It could take all day to talk about it. But I have Libros Oshoma here, and later we'll talk to Titi Ogunye. Libros, what is your take on all what is happening?
Quickly, Nigerians, we like following events that happens abroad.
Yes.
When the British Prime Minister was, the former British Prime Minister now was alleged to have, including various other Prime Ministers that have been alleged to abuse their office. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter who made the call.
Yes.
For the Prime Minister to step aside. It didn't matter whether the person was in primary school as at the time, the first time the Prime Minister was a member of Parliament.
Yes.
The most important thing is that a rule had been breached. Yes. And so the person who is seated there in Parliament representing a constituency, does he have the power to make the call? I think all of these arguments, and that's why everybody now wants to be a senior advocate. It's like there is a conspiracy of silence, one big family,
Because surely he has to write an official letter.
Hear evil, see evil, but don't speak evil.
Speak, yes.
So the NBA president should go and beg the chairman body of benchers, because he was once a president also, take some members to him, some senior members of the profession, just like the National Assembly members should go and beg the president instead of calling for his impeachment. Go and beg him. Say, what you have done, you see it's not too good, you need to just massage his ego, and then he will give you terms and conditions. And then that's the way. So at the end of the day, tomorrow, if children that were not born today, or those that are still toddlers who will eventually become lawyers, now hear of such matters, what will they refer to? Where will be the authority or precedent to show that the NBA president did something? Because maybe people who he took to go and beg at that time, nobody would disclose the outcome of the meeting, and then it can even be denied that he didn't even take anybody, didn't go. So, and then you fold your hands and do nothing because some persons are above the law. And this issue, another question is, if it was the law firm of Libros Oshoma, would the NBA president have taken some senior members to him to go and tell him that, what you have done, is against the rules? because Liberace Oshoma was not a past president of the NBA, or Liberace Oshoma was not a past president of Nigeria. He just, and his father is unknown anyway. So the question is, do we want to apply the rules, or we want to apply,
just a
people?
Minute, Libros. We need to clear something now. Miss Ogunde has admitted.
I was coming to that.
The question I want you to look at now is who is actually liable?
That's why. That's why I used. Okay. That's why I used. If it were the firm of Liberace Oshoma.
Okay.
Would you say, "Oh, I wasn't aware"? Any letter? Do you know, as a lawyer, a letter emanating from your chambers to the courts? There is no way you can appear before a judge and tell the judge that, "Oh, that letter was signed by my junior. I'm not aware of it," because you are responsible for any document coming from your office for and on behalf of your office. Whether that's why people take responsibility for action, even if you are not aware. You say, "Well, these are people under me, and I will take responsibility for their misbehavior because I ought to know better," especially as a leading light in the bar. And then look at the damning letter. So another lawyer also had called for an investigation into all cases won by Olanipekun. So it means that, this is how you people throw your weight around. So swing things in your favor. And that's why Justice Oguntade, late Justice Kayode Esho, JSC of blessed memory, said, behind every allegation of bribery against a judge, there is a senior advocate. He didn't say there's a lawyer. He said there is a senior advocate who's a conveyor belt. And so that's long ago. And remember, Oladipo Dia once said that the bench had been so ridiculed that even judges write two judgments, one in the left pocket, one in the right pocket, depending on who greases your palm the most. Buhari came and said the judiciary was his headache. Judges who houses were raided, and we all said, no, this procedure, you ought to have taken it.
But mind you, it doesn't say in the letter that they offer bribes, though. It doesn't say that.
How do you? I'm not saying. I'm also not saying.
But okay, I just want that to be clear.
I'm saying when you swing things in your favor, that can be one of the ways to swing things in your favor. So all of this for me, it points us to we are creating a new precedent. So now what it means, a letter can emanate from your chambers and you won't be responsible for it. Just throw the person who wrote the letter under the bus and say, no, I was not aware. Oh, this is not our standard. How will the company know that is your standard? If it was not for Ajumogobia was also a former Attorney General of Rivers State, a senior advocate, and a former Minister for Foreign Affairs. If it was Jimi Disu and co that was on the other side, probably nobody would have listened. They would take the brief from you if it has not been settled, and then they say we've given it to a senior advocate. I think the senior advocates should come together, and all these technicalities of he should have gone to sit down with him and beg him with other senior members to say, no, that's not how to do things. He should have written a letter. Even the letter that Akpata, because I've also read Akpata's perspective. He said, look, I don't have any personal issue against the person.
Why did he have to state that?
Or Olanipekun. I have to do my job.
Why did he state I don't have...
A lot of people.
Why did he state I don't have a person? We'll take that after the break.
Because people already said, even the Olanipeku's response alleged that people should not allow themselves to be used to fight personal vendetta.
Okay, we'll take that after the break before this machine jumps up on me. Okay, so it's the Daily Digest with Jimi Disu. This thing might jolly well go on till tomorrow, but we'll take a break first and see how it goes.
That matters to you. When you marry, you don't cheat. most common drug that damages the liver is paracetamol, what we call acetaminophen. People think that paracetamol is just paracetamol. I can take paracetamol. No.
Do you know I've been monitoring elections since 1999? Rigging of election takes place not at the polling unit, but at the collation center.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Pig protein breakfast. That's the secret to how mom wakes up early, makes breakfast for us, and runs off to work. How daddy works most nights and still gets up early to drop me at school. No matter how busy they are, they're never too tired to play with me. And that's because they never leave home without a pig protein breakfast.
Start every day with a pig breakfast, enriched with protein to keep you going.
Pig. Rich for your pig.
At ShopRite, you'll find everything you need and more. Products like 12 bottles of Pepsi, Team or Mirinda 500 ml drinks at 1,599 naira 99 kobo, and Climax 330 ml energy drink at 259 naira 99 kobo. Prices valid till August 7th, 2022. ShopRite, lower prices you can trust always.
You don't hear of what them call contributory pension scheme. You don't even think of how life could be sweet after you don't retire. Sit down, make I yarn your matter. National Pension Commission, PENCOM, get plenty of book where they don't even use. Make sure say wuru and PGBT no enter how them they protect your money. As them they make sure say your money go the enter sharply direct. PENCOM people papa no fit thief your money as them don't arrange computer the way no mago fit happen. Both PENCOM plus the PFA and PFC them they operate for waiting no both they call transparency. Try this one be like open ballot system where you they see waiting that they do. I go they say what they do. All the people where they inside this matter now professional as them they touchlight your money every day. Then they check PFA to see as them they help your money grow. See jollification as you go just sit down can't pay and your money go they grow. Not to the smile on top requirement. Or you both say make we they save for any day. Make we use this big opportunity so that we go fit get peace of mind for retirement. For more information, call 0946 10668 or touchlight us for www.pencom.gov.ng. Pencom!
Pig protein breakfast. That's the secret to how mom wakes up early, makes breakfast for us, and runs off to work. How daddy works most nights and still gets up early to drop me at school. No matter how busy they are, they're never too tired to play with me. And that's because they never leave home without a pig protein breakfast.
Start every day with a pig breakfast, enriched with protein to keep you going.
Pig. Rich for your pig.
Eh? Is this a mistake? What's that? What happened? See, I just bought 1,000 naira Glow data, and instead of the usual, I got 3.9 gigabytes. Guy, I swear, that's how I saw it too. I bought 2,000 naira data yesterday, and I got a whopping 9.2 gigabytes. Wow! Glow data is just always bigger. Yep, and always better. I swear down. Babe, why are you removing your SIM?
I'm leaving this network and getting a Glow SIM immediately. And I'm not giving you my new number. You're on probation. Why didn't you tell me about these new Glow data plans?
Glow new data plans. Always bigger, always better. Babe, sorry now. Yes, get a Glow SIM card today and enjoy bigger, better data on the Glow network. Just dial *777# and choose your plan. And if you link your NIN to your Glow line, up to free 20,000 naira bonus awaits you.
Glow Unlimited.
Being in Lagos traffic can drive you crazy. From the uncomfortable seat to conductor screaming on top of your head, Fumilaja! And plenty other wahala that comes with it. I know you would love to take a cab, but it might just be too expensive. Not to worry, I introduce you to Global Taxi Limited. Global Taxi Limited is that fast, affordable, reliable, and safe way to move. Taking you to your destination in style and comfort is their priority. Global Taxi Limited is proudly a Nigerian brand that is pocket friendly. I mean, who doesn't want to save more? Now with Global Taxi, you can save more with a 10% discount when you download the app. You can also get regular discount when you order a ride on the app. Even as a driver, you get to have a life. Start then now. Download the Global Taxi app from Google Play Store and iOS Store. Global Taxi, the quickest way around.
Babe, could you renew my Airtel data subscription?
Of course, darling. Anything for you. All you see is me sobbing for Bay, but what I see is my wedding day.
the important things in life are powered by data. Dial *141# to choose any data plan that works for you.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
We report, you decide. Topical conversations that matter to you.
There are people for personal, religious, whatever reasons who do not want to take a vaccine. And I think they have the rights.
They cannot go to not to stop insecurity. It's to force people to take vaccine. Let them come and kill me. I can never take it.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
You're listening to Jimi Disu right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yes, welcome back to the Daily Digest, and I still have Libros here in the studio. We're trying to get GT. If you don't get him today, probably see if we can get him tomorrow. Half of tomorrow's program we use to wrap it up. Okay, so you were so back to the facts. You believe that the Chambers is liable because what we read here is that the NBA where did I get? The NBA says that Ogunde's letter puts the legal profession into public ridicule,
especially given the status
yes
of her principal. And like I said, such letters cannot be written.
But the NBA says here that it is Miss Ogunde.
Yeah, because the Chambers has written a letter defending themselves, saying that letter was not authorized by the Chambers.
But is it?
But that the letter was not authorized. That their typical letters are usually signed by two associates or a partner and an associate. But being a partner, usually the practice, depending on the practice in the office, you can't write such a letter without the knowledge and consent of your principal, especially for a matter like that.
What if out of overzealousness she breached that?
Out of overzealousness, you just sit down and then you go for it. But I am saying that you cannot be too overzealous for people, especially these very senior members of the bar. You cannot be too overzealous and write such letters for and on behalf of the firm. Also, given the fact that she's a partner in that firm, she understands the practice. She knows that, look, it's like advertising, soliciting for brief, which is against the rule. So that's why nobody is saying what she has done is right. All they are saying is that it's not the firm. But I can tell you that by implication, it is like Wole Olanipekun is the one on trial here.
Okay, but listen, I want to be educated. If you say somebody is a partner, I'm not a lawyer. A guy here too is not.
Partnership.
So if you say somebody is a partner, is that like almost being like executive director of a company?
Yes. So like you're a part owner of the firm, even if it's 1% that you're given. You're a part owner.
So the letter actually was written on behalf of the firm.
On behalf of the firm, she wasn't soliciting for herself. She was writing the letter for and on behalf of the firm. That's why I said, why is the NBA calling for Olanipekun to recuse himself? Because it's almost as if it's Olanipekun that is on trial here. And so, like we all know, it's an elementary principle of law. Nemo dat quod non habet.
I beg.
Nemo Judas incasesua. Or the oterem patem. These are the twin pillars of natural justice. Nemo dat quod non habet is for land law.
Is it Latin?
Yes, it's Latin. Okay. What it means is no man can be a judge in his own cause. That's Nemo Judas incasesua.
What?
And then odi oterem patem, you must hear the other side.
Fair
so
enough.
we've heard both sides now, and that's why the bar is saying that, look, this matter is a partner, involves a partner in your firm, and the allegation is that the letter was written for and on behalf.
So who is on trial? The firm or the partner?
It is the partner now that is on trial.
I see.
It is the partner now that is on trial.
So the NBA is not insisting that the
firm
has a case to answer.
No, the NBA is not insisting that the firm has a case to answer.
In not doing that, is that right?
Because the firm, like I said, the firm had defended itself to say we did not authorize that letter.
And the NBA is happy with that.
How do you know? How else can you prove the fact that the firm authorized the letter if the firm said they didn't authorize? But the NBA is insisting that even if the firm did not authorize the letter, but at least somebody wrote the letter, and that person who wrote the letter knows the implication of writing such a letter and should be punished for it, even if we cannot establish the fact that it is the firm that wrote that letter. But by implication, like I said, you wrote a letter and signed for and on behalf of the firm. For and on behalf of the firm. So, because you cannot punish the entire firm, in this rule of professional ethics, it's, a breach of professional ethics, a lawyer breached professional ethics, not the entire lawyers in the firm. And also you cannot, the letter was not signed by Chief Wole Olanipekun himself. So, and that's why the NBA has narrowed it down to the lady, Miss Ogunde or so, who signed the letter.
But don't you
So the question here is,
yes,
as a principal partner in the firm, who is the chairman body of benchers, and the legal practitioners disciplinary committee is answerable to the body of benchers,
yes.
Can you still sit down? And I guess the backdrop of the allegations in the letter that you throw your weight around, you swing things.
No, I don't want all that. Let's.
No. I'm going somewhere. Against the backdrop that you can swing things, and then you're seated
written
there.
In the letter.
Written in the letter.
Okay. Fair.
So you are seated there, and so the NBA is also mindful of the content of that letter and the grave allegations. Okay. And so which the lady has not denied.
Okay. Why?
So to say, look, sir, just excuse yourself. Step aside. Let these people who are looking into the matter not consistently look behind their back to say the daddy, her daddy is watching.
Okay,
what will we do?
Time is not our friend here, so I need to speed this up. Why is Chief Olanipekun, why has he refused to step aside?
I do not know. How do they
Based
say it
on
in
what
Yoruba?
argument?
He said that the body of benchers does not interfere or influence whatever the legal practitioners disciplinary committee does. That
So
is an independent body.
going.
That is an independent body, and also that some persons should refuse to be allowed to they shouldn't use the legal practitioners disciplinary committee to ventilate personal issues. So, in one breath, you said this body is an independent body. In another breath, you are saying don't allow yourself to be used to ventilate personal issues. Are these personal issues? If it's about protection of the bar, the integrity of the profession, like Olumide Akpata said, if it were somebody else, all of these senior advocates that are saying he should have been called would have been shouting by now. What has the bar turned to? There's no more decorum at the bar. The tradition of this profession is that lawyers should be decorous. Lawyers should be this. Lawyers should be above board. Their ideas should be in the heavens. But now it's involving one of their own who sits atop there. What it means is that, no, you should have done it in another way. What example are we setting for other younger ones? Tomorrow they can easily point to that. There's a precedent already when this happened. Did Olanipekun recuse himself? In the same vein, tomorrow you can say a judge who has an interest in a matter, because there's no way you can say Olanipekun does not have interest in this matter.
Yeah. Okay. Now, so I know. Yeah. I feel. The embarrassing part was I saw some lawyer who also said that. We will not allow anything happen to our Yoruba son. I was ashamed that the practice of law, has degenerated.
No, but fortunately, it is there. Even though we don't talk about it,
I didn't even know there was an association of Yoruba lawyers. Where is that coming from?
It's all there, and if you see, anytime there's this tussle for the NBA chairmanship, you see all of these things,
So when did
the ugly nature of
all this start happening?
Our tribal sentiment and our ethnicity, irrespective of the level some persons have attained.
So as a
I listen.
Sorry, one question. As a joke, now you have to put balance in when you want to elect officials in the NBA.
You find out that this position.
You don't have Muslim ticket.
Okay. No. And then let me quickly say this.
Yes.
I take time. Anytime your candidate John CSN is on this program.
Yes.
listen to him because he's one of the senior advocates I respect. And I have also, read his views on this matter.
Yes.
That for a matter like this, because it's a disgrace, really. It's a ridiculous precedent if not properly handled. And that the best thing to do is for the chairman body of benchers to kindly just excuse him. Mind you, before he became the chairman body of benchers, a senior advocate, a colleague senior advocate, did also write a letter that Wole Olanipekun should not be allowed to be chairman body of benchers. I don't want to go into that one. No, I don't want to go into that one.
Next.
But what I am saying is, all of these are not personal issues. So that's why the area I want to go to. These are not personal issues.
Wait. I don't want to be drawn into some of the things that I'm seeing are quite disgraceful. Because he's a Yoruba son and all these things. I just don't even want to give them. And when I heard Chief Olanipekun's speech at the graduating law school, whatever, and talking about respect and so on and so forth, it's difficult to convince me that he wasn't referring to his case. But I would have thought that what he would be telling them is to talk about integrity ethics, and using an example of what happened in his own chambers. And without saying it, but using that as an example to say these are the things you should not do.
It's a very difficult scenario. Because if we were maintaining the highest, decorum or discipline in the profession, if we were maybe in England, some other society, other areas, the principal would have used this as an example to say, look, because this has happened
in my chambers,
it has happened in my chambers, and written, in the name of the chambers, I take responsibility for it, and rather than sacrifice this young lady, the chambers will deal. The box stops on my table.
Yes,
I want to be responsible and answerable to the legal practitioners disciplinary committee, and any decision they reach.
Okay, what kind of punishment?
And do you know?
Yes.
Do you know that with that alone, all of us would have been singing today, would have been very proud of Chief Wole Olanipekun, that look, now he's taking the profession back to the way it was, where it was. And with this, you can't point accusing fingers at lawyers being corrupt. And we'll show you an example how Wole Olanipekun had to, take tough and drastic decisions that even in, some societies, some persons won't take. But unfortunately, the politics of it, this can even lead to the lady being debarred.
I was just coming to that now to say that if and when she does go on trial, what are the consequences she's looking at? Remember, she's virtually pleaded guilty anyway.
Yeah.
So what is the least soft landing that
for
can
pleading
be
guilty? She can be suspended from practice. Her license can be suspended for a period of time, and she can be, debarred. And
you think she might be debarred?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I hope not.
Haven't saved the day by. But anyway, it's obvious. It's obvious.
Well, I'm glad
the legal practitioners committee in cases like this. A friend of mine had been debarred over a matter involving funds, money, because they don't take it lightly, but maybe because of his name also.
Okay.
Would have been suspended.
So what is it?
Some senior
because of
advocate
whose
also.
name?
Some senior advocate had also at some point been suspended from practice. So it depends.
Okay, next thing I'd like to be educated on is, with the stalemate that we have now, what is likely to happen next?
No, there's no stalemate here. What is happening is that Olanipekun
the case will not come up?
No, the case will come up. What the NBA is saying, the NBA is not saying the case won't come up all that time. What the NBA is saying, look, with your influence and as chairman of body of benchers, chairman or chairman, with your influence, just step aside.
Yeah, fair
so
enough.
that we will know. But he has said
now
no.
That he said no, so what
we
happens?
don't interfere.
So what
the
happens?
case will still go on. The case will go on, and at the end of the day, we'll wait to see whatever decision that is reached by the legal practitioners disciplinary committee that does not. Some people will. If tomorrow she's suspended for some years, and then maybe she's asked to pay fine, they will say, Olanipekun has thrown his weight behind. Some people would want to see her punished, maybe, sent out of the profession. But I don't wish that for her. The young lady, probably was acting on instruction, but today she's on her own. But, so that's why, for me, that's why I think, I still insist that Chief should save the day. It's save the day, and even you can still accuse yourself and still, to swing your influence around by making calls here and there.
He could have done that symbolically.
Yes,
easily.
Exactly. So it really doesn't change anything.
Argument. More so when it's a case where the girl has admitted that she did wrong. You could have recused yourself, and whatever it is, we know the way these things are done. Now I have to go to people listening at home. We are going to open up our lines 0700 993 993 993. Now, please, number one is let us try to take our personal feelings out of our reactions. No abuses, no innuendos. I don't want any court case. I don't want.
But before you go, I want my condolence to the family of Tunji Ayolaja, SAN. He just passed on, I think, about 3 days ago.
Who's Tunji Ayolaja?
SAN. He's a very senior member of the bar. Just passed on. He was my boss. Very, very.
Is it related to the judge, the late judge?
I don't know, but
that's on Olaja.
No, that's on Olaja. They were friends and relations also, and these are people who started with G.O.K. Ajayi, who were privileged to work with them. And though difficult to work with, but he was one of one very sound lawyer
to work with too. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Uncle Jimmy, good morning, sir.
Morning, Chris.
Yeah, good morning. The law, good morning, sir.
I greet you, Chris.
Yeah, I want to thank the lady for her honesty.
Yes.
For admitting that, right? And for the NBA chairman, Abata, if that letter did not come through the, what do you call that group, social media or whatever, if he passed it to that man direct or go to him.
No, he did.
Okay, if he did.
Oh, let me clear that. The man said he hadn't gotten it. But that before he said he hadn't gotten it, but that it had been leaked to the social media.
But how about the ones that they got on the meeting and the meeting at the body of benchers? Did they read any?
We will not be discussing it today. And Uncle Jimmy?
Yes.
Just grab the law speak. You I beg you, only grab and you have your what did you call that thing you have in your left pocket?
Chris, I beg, this is a serious matter. Somebody's career is hanging on this. Let me first of all state very clearly where my sympathy lies, liberals, so that if anybody is going to say I'm biased, let them know my sympathy lies with that lady.
Yes, that's why I said I sympathize with her.
Not because she's you have to say this in that. Not because she's a woman.
No, I don't even know her.
I don't know her. Yes,
I know she was not acting alone. She acted under instruction.
Well, I don't know, but I think she was.
No, I own a law firm, so I know you don't issue letters.
But
you don't even, I worked with senior advocates. You don't write letters without them seeing it.
But
even if you are signing.
Are there rules for this thing? So we'll know if the rules have been broken.
You see, that's what I'm saying. The responsibility.
If that's the practice.
The responsibility stops at the bulk of the table of the head. If you write a letter for and on behalf of, from the office of the MD, for and on behalf of the bank, and the MD says, or the company secretary, for example, and you say you are not, and he says you are not aware, how do you send out such a letter without passing through clearance from the office?
Okay. All right. We just have about 5 more minutes. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes.
What is actually wrong with that lady or the woman? To write that certain letter without the authority of the company partner with.
No, I don't think you have a clear understanding of what it was. So let's just move on to the next reaction. Sir, with due respect, I don't think you've put your reaction in perspective.
He wasn't probably.
You are not listening well
from the beginning.
Yes, he's angry. What is wrong with you? Hello. Okay, we just have 5 more minutes and we'll be out of here. Hello, good morning.
Uncle Jimmy.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning, the law.
I greet you, morning.
This is Pastor Ladipo calling from Orelegum.
Hey, Pastor.
I think for me, I really feel for that lady because it's like the
the Yoruba adage that says, Aromonishe Orogun Ataronishe Otitori Bumigbono. So she's going through a lot. Now, I think for me, what the law says is let the chief set a good precedent. And this thing will even affect other sectors of this nation. That a man at this level step aside for a certain things like this. And we can make reference, not even in the area of the lawyers, whatever, even in government. So it will affect every other area. Thank you and God bless Nigeria.
Okay, I think I can just take about one or two more and then we'll wrap up for the day. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. For this summer. Fine. What is unfolding now in the judicial corridor? Of course, it's not today that has been disheartening anyway. It is just another way of reconfirming biasness and lots of people have already had, these are judicial system. Fine, be that is me. We know that resignations or somebody quitting their offices or especially when it comes to the issue of allegations about it is not today.
Okay, let's take another
to
one.
us here. You understand? So even if the man resign, he's not going to think the status quo. But anyway, I would just I want them to see to the last. Thank you very much.
Okay, a quick one, Liberals, very quick. Recuse himself, is it temporarily or permanently?
No, temporarily. Pending
just to
the
step
hearing.
aside?
Yes, step aside, pending the hearing and determination of...
so you have to step aside maybe for 2 weeks?
Maybe for 2 weeks, depending if the matter is heard timelessly. To 2 months, 1 month.
But the law of natural justice,
yes, which I cited,
it says he should step aside.
Yes, the law of natural justice says you
okay, he said he didn't get the letter. Okay, now that he knows of the letter, we will expect.
You are saying that we don't interfere with the legal practitioners.
But their report is coming to you.
It's an independent body, but there's nothing they do. That even though appeal from there lies straight to the Supreme Court.
Oh, I see.
Yes, appeal from there.
It doesn't come to them.
No, they will get the report of what happened, but the appeal from there does not go to them. It goes straight to Supreme Court.
Well, I think in the name of peace and in the name because this
transparency and accountability. Yes, that's what people are just asking for. There's nothing personal about it.
Okay, we'll plead with Chief Olanekwe to please, make that sacrifice. And step aside just so that you can have peace can reign. This country is turbulent enough, and usually we look up to the judiciary, to the legal profession at times like this. The common man looks up to at times like this. We're going to be needing your services, your perspectives, and so on and so forth. So we will appeal to him. We quite understand where he might be coming from, but we'll appeal to him to make that utmost sacrifice. If Jesus Christ could put his life down for all of us, I don't think him stepping aside for 2 weeks would kill him in the very least, and he won't take anything off.
Rather, he would be more inches taller in the profession for the step he has taken.
Yes, I hope
but
so.
Now that the matter has been overflogged, even if he step aside, and some people will still say, "Do you need to wait?"
Well, we hope he will. He's a very respectable person.
Yes, he's contributed so much immensely to the profession, and so he shouldn't allow the profession, this kind of backlash, in his tenure as a chairman body of benchers, because that body is a body that is respected by not just only lawyers, but almost.
I fear they can't be having a meeting and I'll be in the same premises. Even he was whispering to me that even if he has having the meeting in one building and he's going to he will park his car miles away. We got to go, Liberals. We got to go. We got to go. So we'll be back again tomorrow morning. I'm trying to get blades for Saturday, so that we can quickly discuss the things we need to do to keep ourselves safe in these current times. Okay, tomorrow Sheriff took up something this morning. We'll do a bit of this and then I'll let you know how the media operates. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 in the morning. See ya.
I want to assume that you would run because I want to give the listeners context for the conversation.
In 2019, you were running mate to Atiku Abubakar. What did you learn then that you will not repeat this time?
Yes, when is the president coming out to address us?
There's a few things. One, I have a burden and a passion for young people.
The fact that you have elected a man does not mean then you begin to order him around. The president will do whatever is good for the country at any given time.
Mr. Adeshino, isn't the president responsible to the people?
What should the next president do to root out stakeholders who are complicit?
You fire those that need to be fired are fired.
It's looking like a brand new Chelsea, attacking with so much fluidity. And what can you say about that, Martin? I know you follow Chelsea quite closely.
I live close to the Chelsea training ground. That's what you mean by that. I'm not a